Well, rise and shine. Good morning. So we are back and we are cruising on this thing. Check this out. This is looking good. Man, I love it. So we got the supercharger mounted on the engine only for the sole sake that I redid some of the wiring, the way the harness is routed. And we got to make sure we clear the supercharger bracket there. So that thing sits way off to the side. Literally is going to sit right in this area right here. So I wanted to get it mocked up, see how it goes. As far as the wiring goes, I am almost done redoing the harness. If you guys look, I've been a little busy kind of rerouting a little bit of it. And we are not doing any of the ugly OEM brackets, you know, the pieces all over the top of the VQ that hold all the wires together. We are going to do it race car style with zip ties, electrical tape, heat wrap on the harness, all the good stuff. So like if you see here, I don't know why I'm still holding this. If you see here, see it's got fiberglass heat wrap around it. That is for crankshaft position sensor, which sits very close to the manifold. We're also going to put heat sleeves over the O2 wires. We're just going to basically heat proof this thing. We got to build a heat shield for this side as well. So, for those of you that don't know, here's what is going on. This is a Vortech V3SI. This is the Top Gun's Ace Supercharger kit. But man, am I stoked on this. So I'll show you up here. We got the charge piping. This is actually the charge piping that comes in the Rotrex kit. Plumbs right up through. You use an OEM manifold, no Stillen manifold, no hurting horsepower. Because yes, the Stillen manifolds hurt horsepower. If you didn't know that, now you know. The best way to make power is an OEM manifold. This is what I got going on so far. I know you guys weren't really watching the me assembling the front of the motor. I kind of just went to town, but we got a brand new AC compressor, used alternator, used power steering pump. Those, you know, whatever, they're cheap. I also polished, look at that, nice little shine on it. I polished the supercharger, as well as tried to polish some other things that, you know, might not look good forever, but at least it looks good for right now. The other thing I don't think you guys saw is we did some heat shielding. So anyone that watches this channel knows I'm a, you know, kind of an advocate for heat mitigation. And because we have the fuel stuff right on the other side of that bulkhead there, the sub firewall, if you want to call it that. I did do a bunch of heat shielding on this side, and that's just to lower the temperatures in that, you know, in the box over there. So we got a kind of a, I guess you'd call it a 3/4 wrap around the bay. You're not going to see most of it when the engine sits in there. You're just going to see the very top perimeter right here anyway. So it's looking pretty good. I am getting really excited though. I am kind of over this wiring and all this like super slow stuff. So I'm going to be a happy camper once I get this on the engine lift and we get her installed. So the next step from here, I just got to double check everything, make sure everything's plugged in, make sure everything's routed properly. The stuff that's hard to access, torque that stuff, obviously. And then we're going to go ahead and mate it to the used transmission I got over there. And we're going to go ahead and drop it in. So we're going to go ahead, lift it up off the stand, set it on the ground. One of the things I absolutely love about that GTM oil pan, you can set it right on the ground. Engine doesn't tip or rock. Makes life so much easier. Well, this is always where it gets fun. Well, we finally got her free. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, set this thing down. She's pitching a little forward. Thought I had these links equal. It's probably the weight of that supercharger. All right, we got this baby sitting on the ground. Looking good. So now we can go ahead and get that transmission mated up. You're going in. Actually, you know what? The first thing we gotta do, there's no flex plate on it. Let's go ahead and put the flex plate on first. All right, so got the flex plate on. It's all torqued. Time to move this puppy onto the engine. These are heavy. I don't like lifting these. Gotta deadlift it and then set it up against the motor. Come here, you heavy transmission. So let's get this out of the way. All right, got the converter filled, got it cleaned off. All right, now that we got the converter in there finally. Well, on this episode, we're gonna go ahead and test the tensile strength of M8s. Just those two little nuts holding the whole engine and trans up. I think it'll work though. Unless the stud breaks off, then I'm going to be kind of disappointed. But we're going to go ahead and send it. We're going to give it a try anyway. I should buy that plate. They sell that plate now that uses all those bolt holes and you can just lift it up that way. I think it'll be fine. But yeah, we got a lot done here. You guys missed a little bit of it. Transmission is mounted. I completely redesigned the starter wiring. So now it comes up over the transmission tunnel, or bell housing, I should say, and then comes up and comes out right here. Reason why, I always hated all the wires and all the drama that was on top, like the huge loom that runs over the top of VQs. Just super obnoxious. So I redesigned that. Got a nice little heat shield on it, plus a heat blanket on it, so I think we're gonna be just fine there. And then the alternator, I did the same thing. It's got like a heat wrap on it. That way it'll get nice and toasty just on the blanket, not inside the wire. Cleaned up the terminal ends on it, so it should do pretty good when it goes in the battery. But yeah, just got done hooking up the power steering stuff. So the rack's mounted, built a heat shield for the power steering lines right there, just like the shields for the bay. And we're gonna do a little test fit here. It might not be a test fit. It might be like the final, like I just set it down, final fit. We'll kind of see how it goes. First things first though, unfortunately I gotta take the hood off, so we're gonna do that first. Talk about sketchy. Ooh, you guys are holding on for dear life. All right, we got her suspended. I'm gonna lower this car some more so we can go ahead and try to fish it in at a low height, just in case, so there's no casualties. Well, I gotta admit that's one disadvantage about having the mat underneath the lift. You can't roll something super heavy on it. It just starts to bind up. So now we're gonna try it. Nice and easy. Doing this yourself it's an art, I'll tell you. We almost have her in. I'm trying to figure out this, because if you lower it, the height's too close to sneak that in. Transmission wants to be down further, so I might have to go under there and like strap the back of the transmission to the front of the car so it pitches. I don't know. we'll give this a couple more tries. I think I got at least a couple inches there, so we should be all right. She's going in though. Looking pretty good. Well, now what? No, I'm just kidding. I gotta clean the shop. This shop is a disaster. Got stuff all over the ground, but I'm feeling pretty good about having this wrapped up here. Well, not wrapped up, but having the engine in the chassis. I'm getting to the point where it kind of burnt out because I've just been working on this day after day after day. I'm got a break from work right now. Switched employers. Took a month off. That's all I've been doing is this. And I'll tell you, some of you guys know, it gets when you're working on your own, like I've done other builds for people, no problem. But when you're working on your own, I don't know, you just start to get burnt out from it. So I'm stoked this is in. It's time to clean the shop, and then I guess the next video we do, we're gonna be going ahead and assembling everything. I still got a ton of goodies for this. I mean, I got coilovers, sway bars, all sorts of stuff that are going in the suspension on this. So I'm a little tired, can't even talk straight right now, but yeah, fits like a glove. Pretty stoked on it. So here's the engine actually bolted in, like completely. So still missing some pulleys. Got some pulleys coming for it. We'll get that tied up, and then we'll get the fenders on and make this thing look good. So that's gonna wrap it up. Make sure you guys comment, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. How much power you think it's gonna make, how long you think before I'm actually done with it. And also subscribe to the channel. That really helps us creators. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you watch a lot, well, not a lot, but you watch a lot of different YouTube creators. And when you watch and you're not subbed, it doesn't do them any good. So if you could sub, that'd be awesome. Other than that, I am out. You guys have a great night. We'll see ya.